Archangel Michael says, "My dear child, the last 2 minutes of this video hold a special message that could change everything for you. Watch till the end, and feel the blessings I have prepared gently unfold around you." There are moments when the air grows still, and something unseen seems to brush gently across the heart. It's not a wind or a sound or a shadow, but something more sacred, something only the soul can feel. In this silence, heaven sometimes whispers. And when it does, the voice is not loud, but it is full of peace and longing and warmth. It calls out softly, not to startle, but to comfort, to remind you that you are not alone. Type 444 if you believe in God's divine protection. In the deep quiet of the night, when grief settles like a heavy blanket, and the world outside is still, a name may echo in your spirit, your name. It does not come from memory alone. It comes from love that has not faded. It comes from someone who once walked beside you and now walks with God. This voice carries no fear, no sadness, only an ache to protect, to warn, to hold you safe. Their message crosses the veil not to cause pain but to guide you, like a lantern held in trembling hands, so you don't stumble on a road you cannot see. The love of God surrounds the living and the departed alike. No one is forgotten in His arms. Those who have gone ahead are not gone from love, not gone from memory, and not gone from your story. Their voice is still part of your journey, and God, in His deep mercy, allows echoes from heaven to reach us in ways that words cannot explain. These moments are not illusions. They are mercy. They are grace. They are hope woven into the quiet corners of grief. This voice may come in dreams that leave you waking with tears and an aching sense of closeness. It may come through a sudden memory that feels more real than the room you stand in. It may come as a scent, a feeling, a rush of warmth that settles your anxious heart for just a moment. And in those moments, the veil is thin. And God, who understands your pain more deeply than anyone, allows love to cross over, not to haunt you, but to shelter you from harm. The warning is not always about danger in the way the world understands it. Sometimes the warning is about your soul. Sometimes it's about the path you're on, the weight you're carrying, the pain you haven't spoken aloud. Sometimes it's not, "Don't go there," but, "Please come back to the light." It might be a whisper that says, "You are not yourself lately," or, "Please stop punishing yourself," or, "Forgive them, it's time." These messages are born of love, wrapped in eternity, and delivered with God's compassion. What if the missing piece to financial success wasn't luck, but a hidden frequency inside your brain waiting to be switched on? Once activated, this ancient signal unleashes waves of prosperity, opening doors to opportunities you never thought possible. From sudden windfalls to long-awaited breakthroughs, it's transforming lives daily. Want to see how? Click the link in the video description and comments below to tap into the money magnet brain wave and begin your journey today. Others are already awakening this hidden signal and watching their lives transform. Do not be the one left behind while abundance passes you by. If your heart has felt that presence, that stirring, that aching warmth that comes with tears you cannot explain, don't turn away. Let it soften you. Let it open you. Let it call you back to Jesus, who binds the wounds we cannot see and gathers every broken piece of our hearts. He understands the depth of your pain, and He holds you closer than you know. Even in sorrow, He is working, and even in your silence, He is speaking. There are people who have left this earth with love still burning in their hearts for you. Their time here may have ended, but their love lives on, not because of memory, but because of the eternal love of Christ that binds all of heaven and earth. When they reach out, it is not to frighten you, but to remind you, God is real. Love is eternal. The veil is not a wall. And healing is still possible. When a voice calls your name from the other side, you are not hearing a ghost. You are being touched by grace. You are being reminded of the divine threads that hold all things together. You are being wrapped, for a moment, in the arms of both heaven and earth. And though grief may still weigh on your chest, know that God is not far. He is nearer than your own breath. And so are the ones you've loved and lost. Type 1919 to embrace healing. He allows their love to echo because He is love. He allows their voice to reach you because He wants your heart to heal. And He allows your name to be called, not to stir fear, but to awaken faith. You are being called back to the light. You are being reminded that your story is not over. You are not forgotten. You are still surrounded by love that never dies. And in that love, through Jesus Christ, you are being led gently, safely, home. There are moments when your soul feels a weight that cannot be explained, a sudden ache that rises without reason, and in that gentle ache, heaven breathes near. It is not always sorrow that stirs within you. Sometimes it is the presence of someone you loved, reaching through the quiet, reminding you that their story with you has not ended. Their voice moves not through the air, but through the still places in your spirit, speaking words that are carried on love alone. You may not hear it with your ears, but your heart knows the sound because it is written in the same rhythm that once beat beside yours. The Lord allows the bond of love to outlive time and distance, because in His kingdom, love never dies. The ones who walked beside you in this life still walk beside you in faith, wrapped in His light, freed from pain, and yet deeply aware of the love they left behind. They know your tears. They know the nights when your hands tremble with longing, when you reach for them in dreams, when you whisper their name just to feel close again. And though you cannot see them, their love still wraps around you like sunlight through clouds, warm and alive, speaking softly to your weary heart. Sometimes the warning they bring is not about danger that can be seen but about a drifting heart. It might be the sadness that has settled too long, the fear that keeps you from moving forward, or the anger that has built a wall inside you. They see what you cannot, and through the mercy of God, they reach through the veil to call you back toward peace. They do not want to see your spirit lost in sorrow. They long for you to lift your eyes toward heaven, to remember that life is not over, and that faith still has work to do in you. When the world feels heavy, when your steps grow slow, and your prayers feel unanswered, you may feel a whisper in your heart that says, "You are loved still." It might come as a memory that glows brighter than the rest, or a moment of stillness that suddenly feels sacred. These are not coincidences. They are gentle reminders sent by grace itself. God moves through every moment that opens your heart to comfort. He turns memory into messages and sorrow into light, showing you that what seems like loss is not the end of love, but its transformation. If you have ever felt warmth in a place that should have been cold, if you have felt watched over when you were alone, or found peace in moments that made no sense, that is not imagination, it is heaven's kindness. It is the Lord allowing you to feel what words cannot express, the truth that your loved one is alive in His presence, and that you are still bound together through love that eternity cannot erase. They are with Him now, and through Him, they are with you. Let your heart rest in that truth. Let your spirit breathe again. The one who calls your name does so because you are drifting towards something that does not serve your soul. They are guiding you, asking you to listen, to slow down, to pray, to trust again. Sometimes the warning is as simple as, stop letting fear rule your days, or, don't close your heart to joy. It may come with tears, but it is love that speaks through them, pure and divine. Type 222 if you know God is with you. Archangel Michael stands near in these moments, his light surrounding the places that pain has hollowed. He does not speak in thunder, but in stillness, helping your heart to hear what heaven is trying to say. He stands between you and the shadows that whisper of despair, holding the line so that peace can reach you. He wants you to know that your loved one is not gone into nothingness but into the fullness of God's light, where there is no pain, no confusion, and no end to love. Do not be afraid of the signs that come to you. They are not meant to frighten, but to heal. A flicker of light, a familiar scent, a sudden calm, these are threads of heaven weaving through your day. They are proof that death has no power over love, that the bond you cherish still exists, strengthened by the hand of God. You are not alone, and you never were. Every tear you've shed has been seen, every prayer you've whispered has been heard, and every longing in your heart has been held gently by the one who never lets go. What if you discovered a tiny, walnut-sized brain region holds the secret to endless wealth and success? Recently uncovered by groundbreaking research and once buried in classified files, this frequency is now available to anyone ready to listen. Imagine replacing worry and struggle with a life of financial ease and freedom. Interested? Click the link in video description and comments below to unleash this hidden brain wave and start attracting wealth right now. You have been guided to this message for a reason, and if you turn away, the chance may not return. This is your time to step in. Your loved one wants you to live, to love again, to forgive yourself, to find joy in small things. They want you to remember that life on earth is only the first chapter of something everlasting. They have not left you behind, they have gone ahead to prepare a place for you, just as Jesus promised long ago. So when you feel the presence, when you hear the whisper, when you dream of their face bathed in light, know that it is real. Know that it is love reaching across eternity, reminding you that heaven is closer than it seems, and that God's love never ends. There is something sacred about the stillness that follows deep grief, a silence that doesn't feel empty but instead hums with unseen presence. Sometimes that stillness holds a message. It may feel like a subtle nudge, a shift in your thoughts, or a deep awareness that someone who once held your hand in life is now reaching through time and space to hold your heart. You may not see their face, but the feeling is undeniable. There is a warmth, a knowing, a divine reassurance that they are not far. In the heart of heaven, God sees the aching questions we carry, the ones we cannot put into words. He knows the depth of your sorrow and the quiet way you try to carry on. And in His boundless love, He sometimes allows a soul that once loved you deeply to reach across the divide, not as a ghost from the past, but as a soul alive in His light, longing to offer comfort and truth. That voice calling your name is not trying to frighten you, it is crying out to remind you that you matter, that your choices still carry weight, and that your life is not invisible to those who've gone ahead. If you feel a sudden pull to change direction, to walk away from a path that once seemed right but now feels heavy, listen closely. If you felt unrest deep in your chest, a restlessness that can't be named, it may not be fear, it may be a warning wrapped in love. The soul who once laughed with you, who once prayed for you in silence, now calls through the veil with urgency, not because time is running out in a worldly sense, but because your spirit is tired and your heart is growing distant from God. Type 1515 to receive peace in your soul. Jesus never leaves His children in darkness. Even when we wander, even when we forget how to pray, His mercy surrounds us. He sees the ones who cry behind smiles, the ones who feel forgotten by life, and He sends comfort not only through His Spirit but through the legacy of love that remains between souls. The one who calls to you from beyond is not a stranger to your sorrow, they know exactly where your heart is breaking. They speak with tenderness, hoping to turn your face back to light, to love, to the quiet trust that everything you've lost is not truly gone. Sometimes we look for signs in grand things, flashing lights, vivid dreams, a voice that shakes the room. But God's whispers are often softer than that. Sometimes they come through ordinary moments, an old photo falling from a book, a song playing when you need it most, or a breeze that feels like an embrace. These signs are real, not because they fit the world's idea of proof, but because they stir something deep within that feels older than memory and more peaceful than explanation. That is how heaven touches earth. Archangel Michael watches over these moments with unwavering light. He stands near when the veil thins, when your soul begins to sense something sacred pressing gently into your life. He does not speak loudly, but His presence shields the holy moment from fear and doubt. His strength holds the space so that you can receive the truth being offered, not through fear, but through love. The message is always the same, though it comes in many forms: you are not alone. You are loved. Come back to peace. The warning is not about the end of days or the kind of danger that screams in headlines. It is about your spirit drifting from the light of Christ, about the weariness that pulls you away from hope, about the bitterness that slowly hardens your heart. Your loved one sees this and speaks because they still love you. And God, in His endless compassion, allows their love to reach you, not to bind you to the past, but to walk with you back into the present, hand in hand with faith. Let yourself be open to these moments. Let the ache you feel be more than grief, let it be the stirring of grace. Let the memories bring warmth, not just sorrow. And when you feel that strange and sacred stillness, don't brush it away. Sit in it. Listen. That voice calling your name is trying to lift you back toward life, back toward forgiveness, back toward Christ. It is not asking you to return to who you were, but to become who you are meant to be, whole, healed, and held in the love that created you. Your journey is not over. The pain has not broken you beyond repair. And the love that shaped your life still surrounds you, even now. So when you feel that whisper, when you sense that you are not alone, believe it. You are being watched over. You are being prayed for from heaven. And the one who loves you beyond death still believes in your healing. There is a tenderness in grief that never truly fades, only softens over time, becoming part of who you are. It lingers not to wound, but to remind you of the love that once walked beside you and now shines from a place you cannot see. In the quiet moments when you miss them most, when your hands are still, when your eyes close, when your heart aches with longing, they are closer than you know. The separation is real, but so is the connection. God, in His mercy, allows love to pass through even the deepest sorrow. Type 1616 if you surrender to God's will. Sometimes, this love comes with a message. It is not always loud or obvious. It doesn't need to be. The voice of someone who loved you truly has never forgotten how to reach your soul. Even beyond this life, they carry that same care for you. And when God allows, they speak, not to bring confusion, but to lead you toward peace. The warning they carry is never harsh. It is soft, like a hand resting on your shoulder, reminding you to slow down, to look inward, to pay attention to the path your heart is taking. You may feel tired in ways you don't know how to name. You may be pushing through days that feel hollow. The voice that calls your name comes now because something within you is drifting too far from the light. Your loved one sees what the world cannot, your inner weariness, the heaviness in your spirit, the cracks forming behind the quiet way you smile. And their soul, now wrapped in divine truth, longs to reach you before that light within you dims any further. They are not angry with you. They are not disappointed. They are simply full of the kind of love that doesn't fade when life ends. From where they are, they see things more clearly now. They understand your struggles, your regrets, your pain, and your silence. They speak because they remember you in your purest form, the one who loved deeply, laughed freely, and believed in goodness even when it hurt. They want to return you to that place, that version of you who walked with hope and held tightly to faith. What if I told you financial freedom is not about working harder, but activating a dormant brain signal designed to draw abundance directly to you? Neuroscience proves this sound wave unlocks prosperity faster than any method known before. From unexpected cash to life-changing success, it's already helping thousands. Imagine looking back tomorrow wishing you had acted today. Do not let regret replace the miracle that is calling you right now. Click the link in the video description and comments below to turn on the ancient money wave and create the life you've always dreamed of today. Jesus walks with you still, even if you've forgotten how to feel it. His presence is not something that must be earned or chased. It is here. It surrounds you in the same way light wraps around a window at dawn, soft, steady, and always reaching in. He hears the pain you don't speak aloud. He understands the guilt you carry, the fear you hide, and the questions that make your prayers quiet and uncertain. The voice from the other side calls you not just toward memory, but toward healing. They want you to stop living as though your heart is beyond repair. They want you to forgive yourself, to forgive others, and to let go of the weight that is not yours to carry forever. Their warning is gentle but urgent. It says, "Please return to peace." It says, "God is not far." It says, "You are still worthy of joy." Type Amen if you believe in God's power, and share this video with 5 people to invite peace, blessings, and miracles today. Archangel Michael, with wings of light and heart of unwavering protection, surrounds this moment with calm. His presence guards your soul from darkness, even when you can't see the battle being fought for your peace. He stands beside the message, ensuring that it reaches you with the love and safety that God intends. You do not receive this alone. You are shielded. You are held. You are not being asked to understand it all, only to feel the truth of what is reaching for you. When the warning comes, it may not come with fear, but it will carry a pull, a feeling that something in your life must change, something must heal, something must be faced. That's how heaven speaks. It does not scream, it stirs. It moves gently through your heart until the pain begins to soften and the light starts to return. That is how you'll know. Not by thunder, but by peace. Let yourself listen. Let your soul open just enough to receive what's being given. A voice, once known and still loved, is calling your name because they want to see you whole again. They want to see you free of fear. They want you to remember that God never turned away from you. And neither have they. Type 2020 to claim joy and strength. The pain you feel is not the end of your story. It is the place where grace is trying to begin again. Even now, Jesus waits patiently, his arms open, his heart full, his love unchanged. And your loved one, standing in his presence, is reaching back to you with every ounce of that divine love. Don't turn away. Don't doubt what your spirit already knows. You are being led, not by shadows, but by light that refuses to let you go. There are days when the world feels unusually quiet, when your heart carries a weight that others cannot see, and it becomes harder to explain the emptiness that lingers. You may go through the motions, speak when spoken to, smile when it's expected, but inside, something aches. In these quiet spaces of the soul, when your heart is soft and tired, a voice may call out, not in sound, but in something far deeper. A whisper that stirs in your spirit. A name spoken in silence. A presence you cannot explain but feel all the same. God allows this voice to reach you because He understands your pain better than anyone ever could. He knows the grief that lingers behind your ribs, the memories that flash like distant light, and the longing that never really fades. He sees the prayers you couldn't finish, the tears that stained your pillow, and the way you sometimes hide your sorrow because the world expects you to move on. But heaven doesn't rush healing. And Jesus, who wept for love and loss while He walked among us, knows that your sadness is holy ground. The one you loved, who once held your hand, who knew your laugh, who heard your secrets, is not lost to you. Their life may have changed, but their love did not end. Now held in the arms of the Lord, they see your path from a place of perfect clarity, and when your soul begins to falter, when your light begins to dim, they speak. Not to haunt or disturb, but to protect. To guide. To wrap their presence around you in the only way they now can, with sacred warning, pure love, and the urging of peace. If you have felt lately like something is calling you back from the edge, like a door is opening in your spirit, it is not coincidence. It is grace. It is God, through the love of the one you lost, reaching across eternity to draw you near. Perhaps you've been carrying something too heavy, guilt that no longer serves you, anger that has worn out your soul, fear that has dimmed your hope. The voice you feel is saying, let it go now. You've suffered long enough. It's not about changing everything overnight, but about turning gently back to the light. Sometimes, the danger we're being warned about isn't outside us. Sometimes it's what's growing inside, a despair, a numbness, a slow forgetting of who we are in God's eyes. The voice calling your name is trying to stop that before it goes too far. They remember the softness in you. They remember the faith you once held with both hands. And they're asking you not to abandon yourself now, not to let grief swallow the rest of your story. Jesus never stops knocking on the door of your heart, even when you think no one is listening. His mercy never tires, and His love waits patiently for you to open again, to let healing begin. The presence you feel is part of that mercy. It is a reminder that you were loved deeply by someone who now stands in the fullness of God's light, and that love still has something to say. It wants to protect you. It wants to lift you. It wants to lead you back into the arms of peace. Type 111 if you believe miracles are near. Archangel Michael is near in these moments, standing in the unseen places where fear tries to grow, and guarding your soul from the lies that say you are too far gone. His strength is gentle, not harsh. He does not come to demand, but to defend. He holds space for this holy moment, this fragile return of light to your heart. He ensures that the message from heaven is not erased, not ignored, not drowned out by the noise of the world. What you are feeling is not random. It is sacred. If you felt drawn lately to pray again, even in quiet ways, follow that feeling. If you've been remembering the one you lost more than usual, allow yourself to lean into that memory. It is not pain rising, it is love stirring. It is the Spirit moving. That voice is not lost. It is rising up through grace, echoing in your heart, not to pull you backward, but to walk with you forward. They want to see you whole. They want you to remember who you are. They want you to live, not merely exist. Let this be the moment when you pause. Let it be the moment you breathe deeply, unclench your heart, and allow yourself to hope again. Because the one you love is not gone from your life, they've simply changed form. And through Christ, they are still present, still watching, still loving, still speaking. Listen closely. The voice is quiet, but it is filled with light. And it's calling you not just to remember, but to believe again. When the night feels longer than usual, and the stillness around you seems to press against your spirit, that's often when heaven draws near. Not with grand gestures or signs that everyone can see, but in quiet, personal ways that only your heart will understand. It might come as a thought you didn't expect, a sudden warmth in your chest, or a moment that fills your eyes with tears for reasons you can't explain. These are not coincidences. They are sacred touches, allowed by God, sent with love by a soul that once shared your world and now watches from beyond it. The person you miss, who once sat beside you in the gentle rhythm of everyday life, has not forgotten you. Their love is not trapped in the past, nor is it silent in heaven. In the presence of God, love becomes even more powerful, more alive, and more capable of reaching across the veil that separates this world from the next. And when that love sees you beginning to lose yourself in sorrow or confusion or weariness, it speaks. Not with fear, but with grace. Not to hold you back, but to help you rise. The warning being given to you now may not come with loud urgency, but it carries deep importance. It comes from someone who knew your heart, who once heard your laughter, and who now sees your pain more clearly than you can. They are calling your name with a kind of love that is stronger than death, love made whole in God's perfect light. And their message is simple, even if it's hard to hear: you are not meant to carry this alone anymore. Come back to peace. Sometimes, without even realizing it, we build quiet walls around our hearts. One sorrow at a time, one small hurt after another, until we're no longer open to joy, no longer sure how to trust, no longer able to hear God clearly. We keep moving forward, but something inside us begins to fade. Your loved one sees this. And the voice that reaches out now is trying to keep you from going too far into that place of numbness, where hope feels distant and love feels out of reach. What if everything you've been chasing, wealth, freedom, success, could be drawn to you automatically, simply by unlocking a secret brain wave hidden inside you? Once classified by intelligence agencies, this discovery is now available to the public, and it's changing lives instantly. Picture yourself debt-free, stress-free, and thriving. The window is open, but not forever, and every second you wait is wealth slipping from your hands, so grasp it now. Click the link in video description and comments below to awaken this money magnet frequency and watch abundance flow into your life today. God does not allow these moments lightly. He knows how sacred your heart is, how fragile healing can be, and how deeply you've been hurting. That's why He lets love speak through memory, through presence, through those tiny moments that break through your busy day and stop you in your tracks. That tug on your spirit, that sudden thought of a long-gone voice saying your name, it's not just nostalgia. It's the sound of eternity knocking gently on your heart. Type Amen to trust God's plan for your life. Jesus sees the places where your soul is tired. He sees the anger you've buried, the loneliness you keep quiet, and the wounds that still bleed beneath your strength. He does not rush you. He does not shame you. Instead, He comes closer. And through the soul of someone you once loved, He sends a light into your darkness, a sign that says, it's not too late to turn back to peace. You haven't wandered too far. Archangel Michael holds these moments with a strength that is almost invisible. He does not arrive with thunder, but with quiet, unshakable presence. His wings stretch over the conversation between this world and the next, guarding your heart from fear, from doubt, and from anything that tries to cloud what is pure. He knows the weight you're carrying. He knows how hard it has been to keep walking. And so, He stands firm, keeping you safe while your soul listens to the truth that is being offered. This warning is not about fear. It is about love that refuses to let you stay broken. It is a voice saying, please don't forget who you are. It is a call to let go of what no longer serves your spirit, to leave behind the guilt, the bitterness, the old stories you've told yourself for too long. You are still loved. You are still known. You are still being guided, even now. If you've been questioning everything lately, if your heart has felt out of place, know that it is not a sign of failure, it is often the beginning of something sacred. That restlessness is sometimes God's way of waking your spirit, letting you know that your story is not finished. Your loved one knows this. That's why they are calling to you now. Because they want you to live fully, freely, and without the weight that's been holding you back. Let this moment be a turning point. Let the voice you feel within you be the reason you finally open your heart again. You are not alone. You have never been alone. God is closer than your breath, and your loved one is still walking with you in ways that words cannot fully explain. And through that bond, through that love, you are being called back to the light. There are times when life begins to feel unfamiliar, even in places that once brought you peace. The joy you used to know fades quietly, almost without notice, and something heavier settles into your chest. You carry on. You keep doing what's expected. But your soul aches for something deeper, something real. In this space of silent searching, the voice of someone you loved dearly begins to press gently against the veil. They are not gone. They have simply stepped beyond what your eyes can see. But their love still reaches you, and now, more than ever, they want to be heard. This voice is not loud or demanding. It comes softly, like a breeze moving through a room without opening the door. It's in the way your thoughts shift, in the moments you feel suddenly watched over, in the tears that rise from nowhere and carry a kind of comfort you didn't expect. It is a message from beyond, one shaped by love and carried through the heart of God Himself. And when it arrives, it does so with care. It does so with urgency, yes, but never with fear. The warning you are receiving is not meant to alarm your mind, but to awaken your heart. You are loved too much to drift away unnoticed. You are treasured too deeply to fall into quiet despair without heaven reaching out to catch you. Your loved one is speaking now because they see a part of you slipping under the weight of life's pressures, those unspoken hurts, those quiet battles, those moments where hope has begun to slip through your fingers. They speak because they remember you as you truly are, brave, gentle, faith-filled, and deeply cherished. Type 3030 if you believe Jesus lives in your heart. Jesus, who walks with you even when your footsteps falter, allows this voice to reach you now so that you remember where to turn. He does not wait for perfect words or strong faith. He meets you right where you are, in your confusion, in your exhaustion, in your deepest questions. The presence you feel is not just your imagination. It is the Spirit making space for love to speak, to guide, to pull you back from whatever edge you've been standing near. You may have been feeling disconnected lately, not only from others, but from yourself. The weight of loss and the silence of unanswered prayers can begin to create distance between your heart and heaven. But your loved one, wrapped in the glory of God, knows this pain intimately. They have seen your sleepless nights, your restless thoughts, your quiet pleas for a sign. And now, they are the sign. Now, their voice is the answer rising from the very place where peace never ends. Archangel Michael stands at your side through all of this. You may not see him, but his strength surrounds you. He watches over the connection being made right now, the sacred message moving from heaven into the depths of your weary soul. He guards it like a flame in the wind, making sure it does not go out, making sure that you know this is not an accident. What you're feeling, what you're sensing, is real. You are being loved through it. The warning may be simple, but it is powerful. It says, do not lose yourself in this world's noise. It says, do not forget that you are not alone. And most of all, it says, it's not too late to return to what is true. The choices you make now matter. The things you cling to, the thoughts you entertain, the bitterness you feed, all of it is shaping your days. And your loved one sees this. With the kind of love that can only come from eternity, they reach for you now with one hope in their heart, that you will listen, not with fear, but with faith. You have not strayed too far. You have not broken beyond repair. There is still time to rest, to heal, to let God hold what you can no longer carry. The sadness that has followed you like a shadow is not who you are, it is a chapter, not your story's end. And the one who knew your heart in life still believes in the goodness that lives inside you, still believes that your soul is worthy of peace, of joy, and of love. This message is sacred. It's personal. It's for you. You are being wrapped in something holy, something tender, something eternal. Let it reach you. Let it soften the parts of you that have gone numb. Let it remind you of who you are, not the person the world expects, but the one God created. The one your loved one still sees, still loves, and still calls home. What if the fastest path to wealth was already inside your mind, waiting to be activated by a powerful sound wave? Scientists call it the money-attracting frequency, and once awakened, it begins drawing opportunities, success, and financial freedom like never before. Imagine the relief of no more bills and the joy of living your dreams. This is more than an offer, it is a divine turning point. Your destiny is waiting, but only if you choose to move now. Click the link in the video description and comments below to turn on this ancient brain wave today. Sometimes, when your mind is full but your heart feels empty, a quiet whisper will rise from somewhere deep within, carrying a peace you didn't expect. It comes softly, like a memory wrapped in light, like a feeling that reminds you of someone you once knew so well. You pause for a moment, unsure if it's just your imagination, but then something inside you knows, it's them. It's the one you loved, still loving you, still caring, still calling your name through the silence. Type "I believe" if you believe miracles are on the way. In heaven, love does not fade the way earthly things do. It doesn't grow weak with distance or disappear with time. It becomes clearer, stronger, and purer, shaped by the presence of God. And because of that, the ones who have gone before us are not gone from love. Their voices may no longer reach our ears, but their care for us never ends. When you feel their presence, when you sense their nearness, when your heart suddenly feels lighter, it's because love has found a way to travel through eternity just to reach you. The warning they bring is never born from fear, it's born from love that refuses to stay silent when your soul begins to lose its way. They are trying to help you see what pain might be blinding you from noticing. Maybe you've been holding on to anger, or shame, or the weight of something you were never meant to carry alone. Maybe you've stopped praying, stopped believing that anyone hears you anymore. But they hear you. Heaven hears you. And the one who made you has never turned away. Jesus stands beside you now, just as he did in every season of your life, even when you couldn't feel his presence. He knows the sadness that hides beneath your calm, the doubts you don't voice, and the longing that keeps pulling you back to memories of better days. Yet he is not disappointed in you. He understands the ache of separation, the pain of loss, and the quiet ways you've tried to hold yourself together when everything inside you was breaking. That's why he lets love reach you from the other side, not to reopen wounds, but to show you that love has not died. Archangel Michael watches closely as these sacred moments unfold. His strength is silent but steady, his light surrounding your heart so that you do not turn away from what heaven is trying to show you. He holds back the shadows that whisper despair and clears the way for light to find its way in. His presence reminds your spirit that you are not alone, that heaven is not far away, and that the pain you carry is not a punishment, it is part of the path that leads you closer to grace. The one calling your name wants you to let go of what keeps you from peace. They see how tired your soul has become, how much you've tried to be strong when you really just needed to rest in God's arms. Their message is not about changing your past, it's about freeing your present. They want you to know that it's safe to forgive, to trust again, to hope again, even when it feels impossible. You were not meant to live in fear of losing love, because real love, the kind born in God's heart, never ends. You may wonder how to respond to such a message. The truth is, you don't have to do much. You don't have to search for signs or strain to hear. You only have to be still. You only have to soften. When you do, you'll notice small things begin to change. Peace will start to return in quiet ways. A thought that once brought pain will now bring warmth. A memory that used to break you will now remind you that love once filled your days, and that it still does, just in a different form. The voice calling your name wants to remind you of who you are, a child of God, loved without measure, seen without judgment, cherished without end. You are still being guided, still being protected, still being carried forward. You have not been forgotten, not by heaven, not by the one you loved, and not by the Lord who shaped you. Type 222 if you trust that God is with you always. So when you feel that whisper again, when your heart tightens and you sense something holy brushing against your soul, pause. Listen. It's not your imagination. It's love finding you again. It's heaven reminding you that your story is not finished, that your faith still matters, and that you are being led home, one heartbeat, one prayer, one quiet moment at a time. In the middle of the day, when everything around you feels loud and distracting, your heart may suddenly pause without warning. In that pause, when your thoughts seem to quiet even for just a second, a presence may fill the space, a calm, sacred feeling that doesn't make sense with the chaos around you. That's when it happens. That's when heaven leans close and love reaches through the unseen. It isn't something you planned or expected, but it is real, and it is meant for you. The one who once held your hand, who once knew your laugh, who once walked through ordinary days beside you, has not drifted into nothingness. They are alive in the light of God, and through that eternal love, they are still reaching for you. Their voice, once carried by breath and sound, now moves through spirit and memory and grace. And in this moment, it calls your name not just to comfort, but to guide. You are being asked to listen, not with your ears, but with your heart. The warning they carry is tender, not harsh. It does not shout. It does not bring fear. It comes like a soft echo in your spirit, trying to turn you away from something that is slowly dimming your light. Maybe it's a habit that's been draining you. Maybe it's a relationship where you've lost yourself. Maybe it's simply the way you've been speaking to yourself, carrying guilt and shame you were never meant to bear. Whatever it is, your loved one sees it clearly now, and they're speaking because they want to see you free from it. They remember who you were before the pain became part of your everyday. They remember how bright your spirit was when it felt safe to hope, when you believed in goodness, when you prayed without hesitation. They are not asking you to be that person again, they're asking you to let your soul breathe again, to return to the light that always belonged to you, even if life has covered it for a while. They want you to come back, not to them, but to yourself, to the part of you that still knows God's voice when everything else is quiet. Jesus is walking beside you now, closer than you've ever known. Even if your heart has grown silent, even if your prayers have faded to whispers or disappeared altogether, He is still here. He hasn't left you. His love hasn't weakened. He hasn't turned away because of your sadness, your anger, or your doubt. Instead, He's allowed this holy message to reach you, to draw you back gently, because He knows how hard it's been for you to keep going. And He doesn't want you to keep walking alone. Archangel Michael stands with you in this moment, steady and sure. His presence is not to startle you, but to protect what is sacred. He surrounds your heart, holding the space open so that you can receive what's being offered. The message is wrapped in gentleness, but it carries truth. Your soul is tired, and it's time to let go of what is draining you. That truth is not meant to wound, it's meant to free you. Type 333 to welcome peace into your heart. There are things you've carried that were never yours to hold for this long. Regret, pain, silence, the feeling that you should be stronger than you are, these burdens were never part of God's plan for you. And your loved one sees that now with perfect clarity. That's why they call to you. That's why you've been feeling these nudges, this unusual awareness that someone is near. Because they are. And they want to help you turn back to the light that still waits patiently for you. Let this message be the beginning of something soft, something healing. You don't have to fix everything all at once. You don't have to understand every step. You only have to pause. You only have to be willing to listen. The rest will come. Peace will find its way back in. Joy will begin to feel less distant. And your heart will start to remember what it means to be whole. This isn't the end of your story. It's a turning point. And the one who loved you in this life, who now lives in the presence of the Lord, wants you to know that it's not too late, not for healing, not for hope, not for faith. They believe in you. They're still praying for you. And through God's great mercy, they are still walking with you, even now. There is something holy about the way grief changes us, not just in how it softens the heart, but in how it opens a doorway between this world and the next. You begin to feel things differently. You notice things you would have overlooked before.